Welcome to number 62, Chinuch at Home. Thank you, Shiva Aliyah. Chazak and Torah anytime for your sponsorship. Here's the question that we're answering. How do we help our children become financially responsible? How do we help our children become financially independent? It's actually a mitzvah on the father to do this for his child, to teach him an umnus. So a chelik of that is really to understand that the purpose of an umnus, the purpose of teaching a child a trade, is that he can have the income in order to support himself. So that's technical on one side of how do you give a child a skill, teach him a service that will render to other people, that people are willing to pay for, that will turn that into cash, into money that he can responsibly spend. But the other chelik which we're focusing on is how to help that kid be responsible in the first place. So you've got 12 years for a girl, 13 for a boy, to train them in financial responsibility. I'm not really meant to be doing this after bar mitzvah, lechatchila. But we know that that's not how things work out, but we can still start early. So one of the ways is, and I mentioned this before, keep a balance sheet. That any money the child earns will be recorded, the date, the transaction, whether it's added to the account or withdrawal. So added to account would be any money they get from their weekly allowance or any extra jobs they do in the home, or gifts that they get, birthday gifts or gifts from the grandparents. And what ends up happening is the child will see on the balance at the end of his balance sheet that it's starting to grow. What's he going to do with his money? So whenever you go shopping or when he wants to buy something, you don't have to say, we can't afford it, or we don't have money, or I don't agree. You can just simply say, can you afford it? You can certainly give your own voice, which means, I don't think it's a good idea. Or you can actually say, no, you can't have that. Or you can explain why you believe it's not the value that the child thinks it is, and then give them the choice so that they get to make their mistakes while they're young. That's the whole purpose of this. The whole purpose of coming into this world is to make mistakes and then fix them. There's no such thing as a righteous individual that walks this planet without ever making a mistake. It's simply a reality. It's Koheles. Shlomo Melech Mekol Adam, Hacham Mekol Adam tells us that in Perek Zion. So we're not here to not make mistakes. We're here to make mistakes and fix them. The proof of that is the mitzvah of Teshuvah is predicated on Hashem's expectation that I will make mistakes. The mitzvah of Yom Kippur is predicated on me making mistakes all year round, and now I'm doing an annual cleanup. The mitzvah of bringing certain karbanos, the asham, the korban chatos, even the oila, which is for hihurim rhyme, it's all predicated on me making mistakes. So don't be afraid of your child making financial mistakes when they're young. That's the whole point. We want them to start getting some sort of understanding of, I really wasted my money on that item, so that I become more aware of its value moving forward. So one of the things I want to introduce you today, very, very simple, is a buy a dream envelope. What does that mean? It's very simple. If a child says, I want to buy something and it's expensive or it's beyond what you are interested in paying for right now, then all you do is take an envelope and write it, buy a dream envelope, and have the child take a photo or cut out of Sears magazine, if there is such a thing anymore, and of the item that he wants to buy, and write on the envelope, I am saving for, and put that little picture. I need to earn, or I need to save this amount because that's how much it costs. And then what you'll do is that the child will actually write out a check to the bank. You, the parents, you're the bank, take out a check based on his balance. If he's got a balance, you'll write down the withdrawal from the money that he's writing out on the check, that you can create a check yourself or just a little banknote, and that with that check it goes into the bank safe of the family bank safe. And what ends up happening is that when the child wants to make a deposit in his buy a dream envelope, he will write out a deposit ticket that will be actually a deposit that's placed inside his buy a dream envelope. So what ends up happening is that the child is learning to save. And notice that I have this amount. He writes on the envelope, on the outside of the envelope, I have saved this amount. And then put the next deposit amount on the envelope, the next deposit. So he starts to see that he's gradually climbing towards his goal of how much he needs to earn in order to pay for this item. This is a very simple way to have children have a plan where they can see with their eyes, oh, I'm making money, I'm earning money, I'm saving money, I'm planning to buy. Don't give up, try it. It's very powerful and very simple. It takes a little bit of discipline on the part of the parent and a little bit of discipline on the part of the child, but it's so worth the dividends in the sense that the child is learning financial awareness, financial responsibility. Enjoy.